Hello friends, in this session we will discuss the employee feedback and reward system. So it is a very small and easy unit. Okay, so see some introduction about the employee feedback. Organizations carry out surveys to find out how effectively they are managing their people. Such a survey open up two-way communication about matters of significance to the organization and its employees. The best way to achieve its goal is to acquire employee feedback through various methods. So basically they have explained how and why employee feedback has to be taken and what is the importance of the employee feedback. It is just the introduction part. Now what is a feedback through the climate survey? Okay, so remember here the word climate survey here doesn't have any connection with your weather, okay, or okay, it is just a name climate survey. Feedback through the climate survey. Every employee has a certain perception about the organization in which he works. Obviously everywhere we are working, for example you are working in a state bank, you have certain perception about your organization in your mind, right? So the climate survey are important way of gathering employee feedback. What is the climate survey? Climate survey is all about the way to gather the employees feedback. Remember, a climate survey means it is a way for gathering the employee feedback. They are carried out in order to gauge these perception. The scoring of these survey is done on departmental as well as organizational basis. So basically, what is a climate survey? Climate survey is the survey. It is a way to gather the employees feedback. Okay, simply to collect the feedback from the employee, the climate survey is being conducted. Okay, now climate survey should be carried out from time to time in order to reduce employee dissatisfaction. To reduce the employee dissatisfaction, the survey should be carried out time to time, and a typical climate survey should cover certain aspects of an organization like what? Structure, responsibility, reward, risk, then warmth, standards, conflict and identity. Okay, so basically these all about the climate survey. Remember, only one bit you have to remember here, that when you listen the word climate survey, when you listen the word climate survey, which means that it is all about the employee feedback. Just remember here the word climate survey refer to the employee feedback. Okay, now next, reward and compensation system. What is the reward and how it is work in the compensation system? See, the basic goal of an individual in an organization is to earn satisfactory wages or compensation and perform well. This is the very basic goal, that whatever work you do in the organization, you should get a satisfactory wages for and compensation for your work. Okay, this will also give him employee a recognition for other financial and non-financial reward existing in the organization. Okay, so basic why we are working, definitely we all are working so that we can earn some satisfactory wages. Okay, wages in the form of a compensation is viewed as the main attraction to join or change the job. Why we join or change any job? Because of only the wages in the form of compensation, right? Apart from wages, there is also inbuilt reward system for better performance. Compensation is a major source of retention of existing manpower in the company. So what is the major source of to retain the employee? To retain the employee, compensation, it is the major source. Note here one point, one beat, that compensation is the major source of retention of the existing manpower of a company. It also has an edge to motivate employee to give their best and the compensation of a company should be such that it attract the talent. So basically this all about the theory part is just your you all know the basic things, right? What is the reward, what is the compensation, that we all know, but as a matter of practice we have to discuss this thing. There is nothing to explain this because these are complete theoretical module. So I will just give some brief overview about this chapter, and in a MCQ session we will discuss the case study and MCQ, so that you will have some more confidence over there. Okay, so what is the reward and compensation? We all know what is the reward and compensation, but just here one bit note that compensation is the major source of retention for the existing to retain the existing manpower in the company. Now we have to discuss different theory, and what are that theory? That are mainly the compensation theory we have to discuss. Okay, the compensation that an organization pays to an employee is based on a number of factors like capacity of the company to pay, bargaining power of the employees or the unions, attraction and retention pressures, motivational factors, and so on. Okay, so what the salary your bank is offering, it is based on basically the capacity to pay. In a government bank, it is not about the capacity to pay, it is just because of the bargaining power of the employee or bargaining power of the union bargain through the what, through the bipartite settlement, and we get the salary hike. Okay, so these are the different factors which are responsible for the compensation. Now see, there are different wage concept that we have to discuss. There are different wage concept. First is the minimum wages. What is the minimum wage? The wage which sustain the worker. Simply the minimum wage is the wage sustain a worker, which is the, what is the minimum wage? These are the wages to sustain the worker. Okay, then living wages. Consider a aspect of a satisfaction of a social needs and insurance cover. So we can say living wages are more than the minimum wages. Obviously if minimum wage is like 10,000, and if you are getting 15,000, you are getting more than the minimum wage. So in addition you are getting 5,000. So in that 5,000 you will have some more facility you can enjoy. Okay, so that means what is the living wages? It consider the aspect of satisfaction of a social need, and you can also have an insurance cover in the living wages. Next, what is a fair wages? It is the one which could be determined on the capacity of a organization to pay. Fair wages. Fair means what? If your company or your bank is making a profit of 1 lakh crore, or say 1000 CR. Okay, it is 1000 CR for a March end. Okay, then in that proportion that company or bank should pay to their employee. That is called as the fair wages. What is the fair wages? Fair means you should have a fair relationship by paying the wages. And how? If your profit is more, that is basically depend on the capacity of the organization to pay. That is called as the fair wages simply. And next is the need based minimum wages. These are aimed at satisfying the minimum needs of the worker. These are satisfying the minimum needs of the worker. That is called as the need based minimum wages. Okay, so what wages concept we have discussed? First is the what is a minimum wage, what is a living wage, what is a fair wage, and what is a need based minimum wage. So friends, here one easy concept you have to remember. What is a fair wage? It is the wages as per the capacity for the organization to pay. Remember the fair wages. It is the capacity of the organization to pay. That is the fair wages. Okay. Now next, social consideration and a legal framework. The level of compensation in any industry gets decided by socio-economic consideration. The organization has to abide by legal framework of the country and comply with the standards set by the government. Okay, and here in India we are having the Payment of Wages Act 1936, the Minimum Wage Act 1948, the Payment of a Bonus Act 1965, and Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Okay, these are the legal framework for we can say reward or the wages. Okay, next, what is the job evolution? So friends, in the previous chapter we have discussed about the job evolution. A job is evaluated in terms of a level of a complexity, skill, risk and the responsibilities involved. The process of a job evolution involve job analysis, job description and job specification. In the previous chapter we have discussed these in a detail. What job evaluation is involved? It involves job analysis, job description and job specification. These are involved in the job evaluation. Next, job evaluation has the following objective. What are the objective of job evaluation? In the previous chapter we have discussed aspects of the job evaluation. Here we have to see the objective of the job evaluation: to determine the compensation rate, to link pay and requirement of the job, to provide for pay differentials taking into the account the skill, effort and hazards required in each job, to establish a compensation structure. So friends, here see here we have discussed in the previous chapter job and job evaluation aspects we have discussed. Here they have given some objective. It is not necessary that you need to remember that objective. Just go through it, you just read it. Okay, nothing to explain in this as an exam point of view. Okay, see here the techniques of job evaluation. There are some techniques of job evaluation. These are also not important, but you can just go through it once. Type of a job evaluation method. What are the methods of job evaluation? First is the quantitative and second is the qualitative. And a quantitative having type point rating method and factor comparison method, and qualitative is having a ranking method and job classification method. Okay, just go through it once. Now we have to discuss is the practices in compensation and what is the role, what is the scenario for Indian banking industry. So friends, see, before bank nationalization, we all know about the history of a bank nationalization, definitely. So here they have given some information. We will go through it just once. See, before bank nationalization, all the banks in India before 1969 were in the private sector. During those days, there was no system of a fixation of a pay or a salary. Earlier, there used to be no labor union or association to discuss, negotiate or to bargain. It was at the sole discretion of the bank management. The bank is used to have their own scales of pay and in many cases talent and good performance were taken adequate care. Determination of a salary plays an important role in the working of any organization. This system has seen some changes in its functioning. Let us take a glance for some important development take place before the nationalization of the bank. Okay, so we know the nationalization first happened in 1969. Okay, and before the nationalization, we all know that all banks were in the private sector. So before nationalization, what was how the pay scale was there? See here, just for your information, the Shastri Award. On 5th January 1952, an industrial dispute between the banking companies of India, that is banks, and their workmen was referred to the All India Industrial Tribunal, that is a bank dispute, Bombay, with the Shastri, called as the S. Shastri as the chairman, and two other was the member for that tribunal. The award of the tribunal was published in the Gazette of India, dated 20th April 1953, and that award is popularly known as Shastri Award. Okay, you might have heard about the Shastri Award during your meetings, during your union meetings, right? So the Shastri Award laid down the scales of a pay for employees of two classes. First is the ordinary routine clerks, and for clerks who carry on a supervision duty. Okay, and holding certain post whichever required a special qualification or skill for the efficient discharge of their duty. That means the Shastri Award have given wages. In the clerical category itself, they have given two scales. First, for the normal routine work of a clerk, and second, the clerk which do the higher level of work like a supervision. Okay, for them there is other structure. In 1952, it was given by the Shastri Award. Okay, now we have to discuss the remember friends, after that Shastri Award, there is one another one award came called as the Desai Award. There was again the Desai Award also. Okay, we don't need to go in a detail about that, but just you remember here, in case of a Shastri Award, because it is the first reward in the banking and after the independence, so you just remember it was published in 1953. There is only one bit is important, that the award is mainly published in 1953. Okay, now we have to discuss some compensation, the new practices. What are the new practices in the Indian banking system is being introduced about the compensation. See friends, the traditional system in compensation exhibited a fixed structure which included the basic pay, then DA, HRA, city compensation allowance, that is CCA, conveyance allowance, and so on. We all know that we are getting, but recently trend is to keep the structure flexible. It is called as the cafeteria or the menu. So friends, here is a one-liner MCQ. Recently the trend is to keep the structure flexible. That means your whatever the salary you are getting, they are trying to keep it flexible. That they are means management, right? And it is called as the cafeteria or menu option pay structure. So here you have to remember, when they ask about the cafeteria or the menu, then you have to remember it is not about any hotel or any restaurant. It is just about your pay scale. It is about pay scale. Okay, as per this model, the employee decide his basic salary and amount of rent allowance and the like within overall package. The company decide the cost to the company, that is a CTC. So basically, what is a cafeteria or a menu? Where employee decide his basic salary, then rent allowance, and that should be within only one package, and a company just decide only the CTC. So basically, it is none other than the CTC. Okay, it is called as the cafeteria or the menu option. That means basically, for example, say company will give you a CTC. Company will offer you, say, a private sector bank like say ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank offer you a CTC of say I think 5 lakh, more than 5 lakh I think they will not offer. Okay, 5 lakh. So in that 5 lakh they will offer you can choose your basic pay and house rent allowance. But what you choose, but remember that your annual cost to the company should not go more than 5 lakh. Okay, so in that is called as the menu option or cafeteria. You can choose your different components of your salary, but CTC should not, that is total bill of your whatever in the restaurant you are getting, that is CTC should not go beyond that. Okay, it is just about that cafeteria or the menu. Next, practices in the Indian banking industry. So friends, we all know in Indian banking what we follow and how we get the compensation or the salary. As per the by-paid rate settlement, we are getting the salary, definitely. So this is all about the by-paid rate here. In Indian banking industry, we are getting the by-paid rate settlement, salary through the by-paid rate settlement. The Indian banking industry had seen the trade union movement taking shape in 1960. The union disputed that the banks had a higher capacity to pay to the worker than the amount they were actually paying. Okay, then the banks argued that the capacity to pay was not only the criteria for deciding the pay. The matter finally went to the tribunal for settlement. Legal structure like a Shastri Award and Desai Award was evolved. Nowadays, wages are being settled by the by-paid rate settlement between the management of the bank and unions for the workman staff. The increase in private and foreign banks has also prompted the new perspective of this issue. Okay, so this is all about the employee feedback and the reward system. Okay, so this is all about some basic theoretical part which we need to discuss in this chapter. As I have already told in the beginning, this is the smallest chapter Okay, and this is just overview in the theoretical part. Okay, you don't need to mug up anything here, just go through it once. This video, you just go through the once video, then all the possible MCQ we are going to discuss in our MCQ video. Okay, I know that through theoretical lecture you are reading something, it doesn't mean that you are gaining some important bits, but when you go to the MCQ, you will have a lot of knowledge gain there, because we are discussing that bit to bit. In MCQ we are discussing bit to bit, and also we will have some case study also. Okay, so after this video I am going to publish a video on the MCQ session of the same chapter. Okay, so friends, it is a very important that instead of directly going to the MCQ, you should have some basic knowledge about the theory and chapter. That's why I have given here some short notes, and so that you will have some basic concept clarity. Okay, so you do one thing, you do subscribe our YouTube channel Banker Zone. Also you have to join the Telegram group, and the name of the Telegram group is CAIIB Banker Zone, and for that you can search on the Telegram @CAIIBBZ, and also download the application from Play Store, Bankers Zone. So friends, happy learning, all the best.